Welcome to another episode of That's Some Crazy Shit with Kelly and James. My name is Kelly and my co-host is Mr. James. What's up, dude?
I am doing fine. Notice how I didn't say,
Yeah, because I don't know.
I know.
Well, I'm glad everything is kosher. Everything's good.
Everything's
everything.
I got back from a vacation.
Right on.
Not too long ago.
How was it?
Cool. I went to go see the ruins of Tulum.
And where's that at?
It was in Cancun. It sits right on the coast. It was a trading harbor for the Aztecs, Mayas.
So you left the country.
I left. I know. I don't even leave the house, huh?
Yes.
Yeah, I actually
left the country.
But it was so cool. It was a really cool experience to see that. We talk about, or I've talked about maybe them being influenced and helped by aliens, But if you took that out, just, they had no help from anything. That's still some crazy shit, what they build and where they built it.
Yeah, we went and saw ruins down in Belize and just how many of them there were, right? Yeah. These pyramids and the things that they could do with the tools that they had, and we can't duplicate it today. Right. So that's some crazy shit. But
so that was cool.
Cool.
I want to start doing more traveling for our show.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to start going to other places.
Like the other room?
Like maybe downstairs, because usually I don't leave the corner recording office.
Maybe the back patio.
Can I broadcast from the back patio?
Yes, you could.
My neighbors would be tripping though, because they would just be hearing me talking like, what the hell's he doing out there?
They would, but hey, you actually could. It's called technology, my friend.
Well, you know how I am at technology.
I do. But you know what? Today we have a guest, believe it or not.
Very cool one, too.
Yes. Okay, so today we're going to be speaking with Mr. Wajid Hassan. And Wajid is a Muslim-born yogi mystic. And he's very... help me out, James. What would you say? He's very... philosophical.
That's a good word to say. Philosophical.
Very philosophical. Really enjoyed speaking with him. 20 years experience in the field of metaphysics, so the metaphysical things, and had an encounter with the UFO. And he actually wrote a book called The Struggles for World Sanity. And we didn't talk about this, but he also climbed Mount Kilimanjaro.
What is it? Now I can't say it. Actually said it. Kilimanjaro.
Yes, thank you.
Sorry, I was like, what the fuck is... That's
well,
one
when
of those
I started
things.
to say it,
if you would have said spell check to that, it would have said what?
Well, it's funny because when I was reading it, I could hear the word in my mind, but it would not come out my mouth right. It's like, what is that again? My brain's like, no, and shut down. So anyway, he is our guest today. What do you think? You want to just get right to it?
Let's do it.
All right. Welcome our guest, Muslim-born yogi mystic, Wajid Hassan. Wajid, welcome to That's Some Crazy Shit. We're so glad that you're here today to talk about all the crazy stuff that you can talk about. Welcome.
Great to be on your show. How can you keep a straight face when you're on That's Some Crazy Shit show?
That's just it. You can't. You can't. It's hard to. It's a great icebreaker too. I mean, everybody is like, yeah, we like the name of that show. So, the things that you're
telling the truth though. That's safe. Some people are afraid to say that, but it's true.
It is true, and we described it that way. It's crazy that it's true. Right. People won't believe it.
So, especially in these days when truths are being shown as lies and lies are being shown as truth. So
yeah, so we can definitely get into that. So, you know, for our audience, tell them your background, you know, and why we asked you to come on this show, all your experiences that would say, you know, come on that crazy shit show.
Well, it's really interesting because a lot of the stuff, you know, before I wrote the book, I kept to myself, and I've just figured it was time. Just for your listeners' information, a quick background. I was born in Pakistan. My parents moved to England when I was 3, and I was raised in the north of England till the age of 10. Then we moved to London, and I went to high school in the East End of London, and then eventually moved to the United States permanently, and lived in Los Angeles for over 32 years, and now been in North Carolina for a number of years, 3 or 4 years. Coming back to my own metaphysical background, I was raised as in an Orthodox Muslim household. So I went to the mosque, I read the Quran, I did the Arabic prayers. At the same time, I was going to Church of England schools where we did Bible study, Christmas carols, hymns, and so I got the both the best of Islam and Christianity, and I didn't find any difference between the two ideologies. They were just presented to different people at different times, different cultures. But at the age of 16, I met my own Yogi master, an Englishman by the name of Dr. George King, and that's when my life changed, and I've been following him and his teachings for over 40 years now. So I'm a firm believer in reincarnation. I don't think this was something that I just suddenly fell upon and related to. I believe I've studied Eastern philosophy and yogic practices in a previous life, and it was just kind of reintroduced to me. It felt very, very normal.
That is cool. That's fascinating. So I know that in when I was reading a little bit about your bio, there was a mention of encountering a UFO in the wilderness. Can you elaborate on that?
Yeah, it happened when I was 18, when I was living in London, and I didn't have any interest in UFOs or life on other planets or whatever, but I believe I think we're all born with psychic abilities. Some of us have more than others based on experiences in previous lives, and I just had this strong prompting to go out to the wilderness, and I had to be there that particular Friday at midnight. I don't know why, and I took the Greyhound or the coach in England, as they call it, to a place near Stonehenge. So about 3 miles away from Stonehenge. I walked there, and I had this amazing experience, which was really interesting, Kelly and James. That it was so profound and personal to me. First of all, I didn't reveal it to many people, primarily because most people at that time would have thought I was a little crazy, and But now, after writing the book, and people's minds are more open in regards to UFOs and life on other planets, I decided to relay that in that experience, so that people know that we're not alone. Never mind the universe or the galaxy, even in this solar system, we're not alone. There are higher beings that are watching us.
You know what? We've been told that before, haven't we, James?
We have been told that there are higher beings watching us, and at different frequencies, and so that's interesting. I have a question, Wade. Do you think because that you're so open-minded to this that they chose you? Because sometimes it seems like there'll be a crowd of 100 people and only 2 or 3 will see a UFO. It's almost like they're chosen. Do you think that because you're so open-minded, they chose you?
That's a good question. I think they did it for more than one reason. It wasn't just a personal experience of, having an experience with a UFO out in the wilderness. I believe they figured that, eventually I would write a book in my later years, and would reveal this experience. So I think it wasn't by chance that it was done. And, revealing this experience is to help inspire people in these very dark days, to let them know that there are beings not only scientifically advanced, but more important, more spiritually advanced than we are, and care for us as a race more than we do actually care for ourselves, unfortunately.
And so the book, The Struggles for World Sanity, does the book talk about just your experiences, or does the book talk about maybe how someone can maybe start the path to their own spiritual enlightenment?
Yeah, it was based initially on some of my life, childhood and lifetime experiences, spiritual experiences with my own yogi master. But in the end, there's universal truths in there in regards to life on other planets, in regards to cosmic teachings, in regards to our true history, which has not been revealed by the mainstream media, where we came from. The last, we've been resident on planet Earth for the last 18 million years. But, where were we before 18 million years ago? And the kind of civilizations that we were part of. So those are revealed. And, the bottom line is, the beings that contacted my yogi master, these cosmic beings, they basically said that we're not bringing anything new that hasn't been presented by other great masters that came to this planet. People I believe from higher dimensions and other planets. People like Jesus and Buddha and Patanjali and Lao Tse and Krishna. These were not Earth people. I believe they were from different planes, higher planes of existence. And unfortunately, today, as a race, we seem to be looking up to billionaires, we seem to be looking up to celebrities, we seem to be looking up to politicians and generals, and and none of them have the answer, and they pretty much led mankind to more destructive states, and what we need to do is go back to universal spiritual truths, which these great masters. If you want to follow a politician, then follow these great politicians. I believe one of the greatest political speeches ever wrote was the Sermon on the Mount. And people have strayed away. They've used religion as an excuse to kill each other. But what they need to do is look at the universe. All these great masters came with the universal truths, basic truths of the law of karma, action, reaction, thou shalt not kill, love thy neighbor. All these basic spiritual truths are inlaid in all the religions. They're all the same. Different rituals, but they're all the same. And so what mankind needs to do in order to get ourselves out of this mess that we've created, it's our own fault, is to go back to these universal truths and start following what these great masters have said. And it's by not listening to these great teachers we're on the brink of maybe World War III right now because of the madness.
So what do you think we can do to help get the message out?
The essence of what they said and the essence of what my master said and what I wrote in the book is that, back in the 70s, there was an oil crisis, and right now the prices of oil have been deliberately risen for the greedy oil companies. And, everybody talks about energy crisis, but, what they've said and what my yogi master said, he said there's only one energy crisis on this planet, and that's a spiritual energy crisis. And it's not that there's a lack of spiritual energy, it's out there in the cosmos, this energy of love, L-O-V-E, on a higher sense. We're receptors, we receive and we transmit this energy 24 hours a day. We just don't know how to direct it. And so we're not physical beings. We're actually spiritual beings in physical bodies. We have an aura, we have psychic senses, we have subtle bodies. we just use the physical body for maybe 60, 70, 80 years. We discard it and we move on to other realms and we come back. And so the only way to solve the problem on this earth is to send this universal energy out, through the psychic senses of the hand, through the heart center. And it's actually a very tangible energy. Your listeners can stand in front of a mirror, they can visualize white light, it can reflect back, and you'll feel a tingling around the aura, around the fingers. It's just like electricity, but it's on a higher frequency, different frequency. And that's the call of action today, is to send out this universal power that comes from the sun, comes from the cosmos. It's the same energy that Jesus used to raise the dead, heal the blind, heal the lepers. It's the same universal energy. And every man, woman, and child, if directed. See, the problem with the religions is they don't know how to pray properly. And what has been opened now is that for people is to channel this energy through the head, through over the shoulder, through the heart center, and send it out as power. And if enough people did it on a universal level, we could change this planet. There was a message given through Dr. King where they mentioned that another civilization in this galaxy, which had similar problems to that of Earth, were approached, and they listened to the cosmic message, and they started sending out this spiritual energy, this power, and within 50 years that planet was completely changed. And so we can change the world. Dropping bombs on innocent people, dropping bombs on different countries has never solved the problem, and no politician has ever created peace. The only way that peace was created in Vietnam and World War II and all the other wars, Korean War, were the prayers of the mothers whose children were out there in the field fighting each other, and it was the prayers of their mothers that caused the peace, not the politicians. Politicians would take the credit for it, but they've never created a lasting peace.
So you had said that people don't know how to pray. How do you pray?
Well, take the Christian religion. They've been told, they've borrowed Eastern philosophies and been told to pray like this. And in Eastern
with the hands clasped together,
and your eyes closed and bow down. And in Eastern culture, this particular move is actually when you go in front of somebody and you bow to them, what you're saying is, I've closed up the energies from my heart, my palms, in other words, I don't offer you any malice. And then they bow. And so this is not the way to pray, And so that's been misconstrued, as well as many other. Take the Christian religion again. Reincarnation was actually taught in the Christian religion until they took it out 700 years ago, deliberately, to create this one life to live, in order to, keep control of the masses. Same with other religions, like the Islamic religion does the same thing, as well as, the Jewish religion. You just got this one life to live. Either you listen to us, or the wrath of God will kill you. And it's all designed for fear. But the proper way to pray is to open up the psychic senses. We have psychic senses in the palm of the hand. We have psychic center that's 6 inches in front of the breastbone. Of course, we have psychic centers in the throat, the third eye, and different psychic centers. So the best way to pray is open the palms out and visualize white light coming through, and just send it. And you can send the energy out with any kind of religious prayer. It doesn't have to be any religion or a personal prayer. I belong to a group of people from over 60 countries, and we get together on a regular basis every day, and we send out the power. So if people don't know how to do it, it's free. They can join us. I could give you the link at the end of the broadcast. But I think because it's so simple, it goes over people's heads. It's it's the simple things in life that are the most powerful. People are into complex things, just iPhones and video games and TikTok and just mind mush. And instead of looking what the higher beings have said, instead of looking down at the gloom and doom on your iPhone, look up to the skies and look for inspiration that's been sent down by these higher beings at this time, at this very, very critical time, because this is a great time of change. Either we change or we won't be hanging around in the centuries to come. We won't be living on this planet.
Right.
So, in what you know, and from these higher beings, is the Earth going through different dimensions of, I guess, reality? Like a lot of people have told us before, like we were in the 5th dimension, maybe coming from the 4th into the 5th dimension, things like that. Different vibrations of frequency, and so do you know anything about that?
Yeah, they've kind of confused people about the 5th dimension and different dimensions. I think it's they need to kind of rethink that. But what the cosmic beings have told us is the Mother Earth herself is a living, breathing entity. She's not just a lump of rock, and she has kept mankind, protected mankind, given her resources. All we've done in return is just rape her of her resources over the centuries without giving anything back. So she, as an entity, has now been told by the higher sources to raise her energies, and so every year she's slowly releasing these energies. One aspect of that, which they mentioned in the 50s and 60s, was climate change. People talking about climate change now, it's not all about carbon emissions. She herself as a planet is changing, and it's been said that in the years to come there'll be an ambient temperature around the world. There won't be any spring, summer, fall, winter, but just an ambient temperature similar to, say, in Hawaii. So that's part of the climate change, and so her vibrations are being raised. And so it's not a case of if, but if we need to conform to her vibrations. And if we don't, and one way to do that is to raise our vibrations by sending out this spiritual power. And if we understand the law of karma, the more spiritual energy, the healing energy that we send out, we get back absolutely in return. Just like if you're going to murder somebody in this life, you may get a nice lawyer and get away with it with man's law, but you won't escape the law of karma. You too will probably be murdered either in this life or the next life, not to punish you, but to teach you that you don't kill. And it's the same principle, that we send out this power out to the world, out to our relatives, to friends, to every country. We get that same power back. And so as we get the same power back, we send it out, we start we start evolving. And that is the only reason we are on this planet, is to raise our vibrations, is to evolve, not to go through all this terrible suffering that we're going through. And so if it's been said that if mankind, because these are the times of great change, if either we change or we won't be allowed to stay on this planet, we will be reincarnated on a younger world in this solar system, because in mercy we won't be able to stand the heightened spiritual vibrations. And all the murderers and the generals and the polluters, if they don't change, they will not be left on this planet, because they're my master in his own deep meditations, Kelly and James, has seen the future, and it's a beautiful future. It's a future where there's going to be no civilization, races or cultures or religions, just one human race, one border, no borders, ambient abundance. I mean, the heaven on earth, the utopia, which has been talked about over the centuries, is going to happen. So it's up to us whether either we stay here and conform, or we leave and start our bloody history on some other planet. And that's again a universal truth, which is so devastating, but it's so truthful again, people, it just goes over their head. But the change has already started, and we can see it just in the change of climate that's occurring. The ice caps will melt. There will be flooding on different countries, and that's part of the change that's occurring. The ionosphere is being taken down, which means the ultraviolet rays, the cosmic rays coming from the sun, are going to be beneficial for the earth. And if we're going to conform, again, we have to raise our own vibrations. So it is the end of time, end of times. It's the beginning of a new era for mankind. And either we change or we leave. And that's, it's not man's law. This is universal law that's been put down.
Do you know how many universal laws there are?
Well, look at the 10 Commandments. They were universal laws that were given. Look at the Sermon on the Mount and what the Master Jesus said in regards to, love thy neighbor, thou shalt not kill. I mean, all these, basic laws are all the same. The thing about truth, it never changes. So these laws of the law of karma, action, reaction, the law of reincarnation, all these are truths which mankind can't change. Mm-hmm. And so they don't follow mankind's law. They follow a divine or universal law which has been there since the beginning of creation. In regards to how many of them there are, there's different aspects of them. There's different aspects in different religions, but they all point to the same thing. I can't honestly answer how many universal laws there are, because if you go to other different dimensions, there's more universal laws there. So it could be endless. But the basic laws is that what we're not following is the realization that we are not Chinese or Russians or Americans anymore. We're all metaphysically connected as one race. We come as different races, different cultures, even different sexes, in order to learn the experiences we need over many, many lives. And we go through all these experiences till we learn to raise ourselves above all these experiences. And so that one universal law, that we're metaphysically connected, needs to be told universally. And also the law of reincarnation, again, which has been suppressed. People would think twice before going to war, thinking that they were going to murder a brother or a sister or a mother or a father in their previous lives. And the law of karma, action, reaction, I mean, that should be taught to the children as soon as they start walking, that you're responsible for your actions. The law of karma is absolutely just. We get what we deserve. And I've had some very painful, as many people, also many very painful experiences, because I was into self-will as a young man, and caused me a lot of problems. And so sometimes it takes time to gain a little wisdom.
Oh God, you got that right. It does. I think we've all made some bad choices, not really thinking about the consequences or the reactions from our actions. And I think we've all learned.
You know why, Kelly? Because they said there's only one sin on this planet, and that is ignorance. And so the opposite of ignorance is enlightenment. So if we are enlightened and we know these universal laws, we won't make those mistakes that we did in the past.
Yeah, but sometimes I think it's a point of, not everybody is teaching the universal laws, or like you said, everybody's on a device or looking at other things or following other people and not really paying attention to what the universal laws are. It's, they're doing something else. I think social media is used as a distraction to keep us distracted from what we really should be focusing on.
Yeah, on our true path.
Yeah, I mean, take for instance racial prejudice. Again, that's ignorance. How can you be proud to be born this race or this color? Because if you look at the universal laws, you will be born in different races, different colors, and so you can't just base this one life based on your on pride and ego, and even this horrible concept that you're better than other races. It's just, again, it's just pure ignorance. We're all one race, and there's no difference between a Korean, a Chinese, an Eskimo, or a Jew, or a Hindu, or a Christian. There's no difference, just different experiences. That's all.
That is so very true. So very true. It has been such a pleasure. The book, The Struggles for World Sanity, that is available everywhere books are sold?
Primarily on Amazon.
Is it an audiobook?
It's an audiobook as well. It's print and Kindle. And if people want to get more information, they can just go on my website, which is wajidauthor.com, wajidauthor.com, and there's information on the book there as well.
Fantastic. Thank you.
Also, just, I was approached by a filmmaker earlier this year, and they're actually interested in doing a documentary on the book, which we're trying to get on Netflix or Amazon. So
I love it.
On that.
Really? So are the talks getting better, or sounds like it's getting closer to becoming a reality?
Nothing's real till it's real, that I've learned. So, but they've done a teaser for the documentary. It's on the website. So it's on my website. But when it happens, it happens. And until then, I'll just wait and see.
That is fantastic. We'll
thanks for sharing that with
you. We'll definitely look out for that. Thank you so much for joining us. It's been such a pleasure speaking with you. I appreciate you.
Thank you, Kelly, and thank you, James. It was a pleasure as well.
I like Wajid. He's a cool dude. But we've talked about this when he had his UFO encounter, and we were talking about, he felt like he was drawn to this place, to be that place at that time. How many of times have we talked about these people, feeling like they're drawn somewhere for some reason, and then they have an encounter with Bigfoot, a ghost, UFO. I think only so many people are open to it.
I think that people have always been open to it, but I think that because we do the podcast, we're more in tune, right? It's like when you say, "Ooh, I'm going to buy this type of car." And now all of a sudden you always see that type of car. It's the same thing. There were probably people always open to it, but we just weren't in tune with them. Yeah. And now I think because we do the podcast and we're actively looking for people, we're just more apt to just be more in tune and find people that are open and want to talk about their encounters. I mean, he's had a lot go on, plus he wrote this book and his background and everything that's happened to him, and I really enjoyed talking to him.
Yeah, I want to read his book too.
Yep, if you're interested in the book, like you said, it's on Amazon. It's called The Struggles for World Sanity by Wajid, and that's Wajid Hassan, Hassan.
Right on.
Right, cool. Let's go into some random bullshit. We got time.
Random bullshit. All right. You want me to do it, or you want to do it?
Yep, go ahead. Go for it.
All right. Last time we talked about if you wanted to be encrypted, or if you wanted to encounter something. Mm-hmm. And I'm not going to say what it was because our listeners will have to go back and listen to the last episode.
Okay, because I did answer. I gave you two answers.
Yeah. See how I did that? All right. So let's see. My question is now, if you are able to travel to, I'll give you some choices and I'll explain 3 of them.
Okay.
And if you have ones that you want to throw out there, you throw them out there.
Gotcha. Let's do it.
Okay. So the lines of Nazca in Peru.
Okay.
Okay, if people aren't familiar, there are these huge geoglyphs on the plains of Nazca. Okay, we probably talked about it. Maybe we'll do an episode on that. Okay, so there's that.
Okay.
Okay, of course, the classic Stonehenge. Okay, over in England. All right, no one's quite sure how it's built. Blah blah blah. Huge monolithic stones. I think we talked about that. Okay, and then I'm gonna throw it out to you. And this one, we're assuming you're a certified diver. Okay, so off the coast of Japan, there's these ruins in Yonaguni, and they're under the water. I think 30, 40 feet deep, but it's pretty. A lot of currents and stuff, so it's not an easy dive. But we're assuming you can do this. So you go underwater, and there are literally, it looks like these step pyramids we talked about. Okay, they've seen things that look like faces and shapes, animals and stuff. People are saying no, it's just nature, and other people are saying, well, no, it's too symmetrical when you got like two eyes, a nose, a mouth looking thing. You know what I mean? So that's one of your choices. Those are your three choices. Or you could choose something of your own.
But where would I go if I could go to a paranormal or location, whatever type place location? I think I would probably start off with Stonehenge. Why? Because I really want to go to Europe. Right? So that would get me to Europe. I've been south. So I really want to go to Europe. So I think I would go to Stonehenge, which is, if I do, not if, when I go to London, I will go to Stonehenge, because that will definitely be on one of the places to check off. So that's where I would go. But I would also like to go see the pyramids, even though people say it's not what it looks like in pictures. And that I would be disappointed when I saw them because of how they look in the pictures and how they are in real life. Regardless, it's still something that I would want to see. So, yeah. So I think I would want to go to those places. But there's a lot of places on the planet that I would like to see that I probably know nothing about, right? Like these Peru lines you talked about, never even heard of them, don't know what they are.
Oh, the Nazca lines? We never. Well, I'll have to give you a quick tutorial sometime.
Yeah, we've never discussed them, so I'm like, I don't know what these lines are, but and like we were talking about ley lines, like a lot of people don't really talk about them, but how everything is connected, and it's just very interesting to me. So yeah, I would love for you to educate me on the lines of, what's it called again?
The Nazca lines in Peru.
The Nazca lines in Peru when we have more time. But at this time, I want to tell everybody about our website, which is thatsomecrazyshitpodcast.com. I know that we haven't talked about this in a long time, but there was a time, way back when, where James had a blog. He used to talk about this blog he wanted to do. I'm going to do a blog, he said. I'm going to write to blog. And he's not a blogger. Not a blogger. I think he maybe blogged twice.
Yeah, I did.
So I can't even throw out go and read James's blog, because I don't even know if James still does a blog. He talked about it though. What do you think, James? Do you still do a blog, or what's up, dude?
I did.
So is that no? You no longer do a blog?
No, I will put more effort into the blog. I will. I apologize.
Don't apologize. I just, I remember I used to say, go check out James's blog, but I haven't said that in a long time because you don't write it anymore. So
I don't.
You need to get that creative flowing again. Talk about some stuff.
Hey, and real quick, have we mentioned that we're also on Amazon Music and Audible now?
I think we did before, but we are on, wherever you listen to your podcast, whatever you're listening to now, obviously we're on that platform, but we're on some other ones as well. So check us out, thatsomecrazyshitpodcast.com. James?
Until next time, keep your minds open, people.